You got an accepted offer. What happens next? Hi, my name is Morgan Bauer with Schuler Bauer Real Estate Services, and I'm here to talk to you today about what happens behind the scenes after you get an accepted offer. Once you get an accepted offer, the first things that you're going to do is you're going to submit earnest money. Earnest money is going to be like a good faith that you give as the buyer to the listing broker or the selling broker as a deposit to take the home off the market. So if you have a contract on a house, you're not going to see it being advertised on websites anymore once you get that earnest money and it's been taken off the market. The next step after earnest money is going to be an inspection. And this inspection can't be done by your uncle down the street. We need a third-party licensed inspector in the state that you're purchasing, and they're going to go through the home top to bottom. Now, just a few things you should remember. This is paid for by the buyer, and typically, depending upon the state, the seller is given the remedy to fix the problem. So depending upon how that inspection report comes back, it could go one of two different ways. You could renegotiate with the seller potentially to get maybe that new roof or maybe just a few small things taken care of prior to closing, or you could ask the seller for repairs and they could say no. And at that point, you would have the option to purchase the property as is, or you could then say, no, we don't want this property anymore. Next up on the list is going to be getting that loan taken care of. You're going to get with your lender within a certain amount of time, and you're going to make an application. Your lender then is going to order an appraisal. The appraisal typically, depending upon the loan process, it can take 7 to 14 days. And when the appraiser goes out, they're going to verify the value for the lender. Once the appraisal comes back to the lender's going to verify that. And as long as the value has come in, you're going to move forward through your next steps, which is going to be title. The title attorney is going to run a history on the property. They're going to make sure all liens have been paid for and taken care of. At this point, we're getting closer to closing date. Now, just to remember, closing date is a moving target. There are things that have to happen, and a lot of times people want to go ahead and take off work in advance or plan for that closing date. That closing date can be set as close as 3 days before closing. So try to be flexible, try to be prepared, and make sure you're always talking to your agent. That's why we have some of the best agents at Schuler Bauer. They'll set that expectation with you and keep you in communication the entire time to make sure you do get to that closing table.